From Amateur Radio Newsline Report number 1983, these are the Ham Nation headlines for Wednesday, November 4th, 2015. Amateur radio operators in India are preparing to step in quickly to provide help across the ravaged landscape of northeastern Afghanistan, which suffered a deadly 7.5 magnitude earthquake Monday, October 26th. The tremors were so strong, in fact, they rumbled across Pakistan and North India as well. The team of experienced rescue operators from the West Bengal Radio Club is the same group to provide critical support during operations after last spring's quake in Nepal. Ambarish Nag Biswas, the West Bengal's club secretary, tells one newspaper in India, quote, "Communication is key to running rescue operations, but in such cases, cell phone networks and services collapse. Our job is to set up a parallel network," end quote. As of Wednesday, October 28th, the amateurs were awaiting the official okay from the Indian government before departing for Kabul. Amateur communications also played a paramount role when the most powerful storm ever to hit the Western Hemisphere struck the Pacific coast of Mexico a week ago.
Amateur radio frequencies are back to normal, although it will take a while to recover from the flooding, downed trees, and other damage Hurricane Patricia inflicted last week in western Mexico. Mexico's Amateur Radio Association, FMRE, reported on Monday, October 26th, that the nation's emergency net frequencies, including 7.060 megahertz, were finally clear of traffic that responded to the weekend's Category 5 hurricane. Mexico's national emergency net was activated as Patricia approached land, and winds ripped through the country at close to 200 miles an hour. The hurricane coincided with an already intense time on the HF bands as the CQ Worldwide SSB DX contest was getting underway. That prompted a plea from the International Amateur Radio Union on Friday, October 23rd, for hams to keep the emergency frequency open and prepare as well to clear additional frequencies on both 40 and 80 meters if needed. The National Hurricane Center in Miami had called the storm potentially catastrophic. It was finally downgraded on Saturday, October 24th. By Monday, October 26th, storm-induced downpours had begun drenching much of the Gulf Coast region and the South as the now weakened weather system made its way east. For the Amateur Radio Newsline, I'm Jim Dameron, N8TMW reporting.
Desecheo Island, 14 miles off the coast of Puerto Rico, has held a long-standing spot on Radio Amateur's list of most wanted DX. Part of the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service's National Wildlife Refuge System, the island known to amateurs as KP5 has been a notable part of the KP1-5 project's successful de-expeditions for years. Now it seems the island is also most wanted by the Commonwealth of Puerto Rico. According to a published report, Puerto Rico's House of Representatives has approved 2 measures requesting the island's release from United States jurisdiction. The news of the vote was reported in the October 26th edition of the Puerto Rican newspaper El Nuevo Dia. Hernandez Lopez's remarks to fellow lawmakers, translated in the newspaper's online story, say in part, quote, "Our desire is to provide the additional space in the western area for sightseeing, environmental tourism that allows people to enjoy the natural attractions." The measures were approved in the House 27-21. Puerto Rico Senate will now consider the matter. As for the world's DXers, they'll be listening too. A collective of groups and individuals specializing in helping American Indians, Alaskan Natives, and other tribal people through disasters and emergencies is meeting in Tulsa, Oklahoma. The focus will be sharing tools, techniques, and tactics to help respond to and manage a crisis. The organization is called the Tribal Assistance Coordination Group, and while the A in its name stands for assistance, on Thursday, November 5th, it will also stand for Amateur Radio. Amateur Radio Newsline's Mike Askins, KE5CXP, is our man in the Sooner State.
It takes more than 45 minutes to explain why amateur radio is such a critical tool when disaster strikes and communication networks are down. But Lloyd Colston, KC5FM, the ARRL's Oklahoma section manager, is more than up to the task. His 45-minute talk at the National Tribal Assistance Coordination Group workshop in Tulsa will cover all the essentials. Amateur radio will share the spotlight at the wide-ranging conference with other emergency responders, including the Red Cross, FEMA, FirstNet, the Department of Homeland Security, and the Oklahoma Intertribal Emergency Management Council. Steve Sid Caesar, NH7C, the chief of the Division of Emergency Management in the Bureau of Indian Affairs, told Amateur Radio Newsline that amateur radio already enjoys an established presence at these national workshops, but its role has largely been showcased through informal meetings and on-site tabletop exercises. Colston's talk on Thursday, November 5th, constitutes the first official, formal amateur radio presentation at the National Workshop. We hope that the outreach to tribes will increase the number of amateur radio operators in tribal communities, making for safer and better prepared tribal communities. That's certainly making the most of 45 minutes.
And that's all from the Amateur Radio Newsline, your independent source for amateur radio news for over 37 years and counting at www.arnewsline.org. With Jim Dameron, N8TMW, Mike Askins, KE5CXP, and Karen Eve Murray, KD2GUT at the news desk in New York, I'm Don Wellbanks, AE5DW. 73. We'll see you next time here on Ham Nation.